Woohoo! We're live again, everybody. How's it going? Are you bored of me yet? Don't be silly. Of course you're not bored of me. Look at this face. So it'd be even better if Oswald was saying, he's sleeping right now and I can't show you. How cool was that? We had Tony J. Salemi, who is seven times best-selling author, overtook Tony Robbins in his book sales. What? And just the lead expert healer, behavioral psychologist, had his own show, been on TED Talk on ABC, NBC, been on all new broadcasting channels in America. It was absolutely amazing. Really, really appreciate that. Now, however, we are going to be speaking with the epic Jamie Denyer. So he is also known as the Grief Preacher. Now, this guy is, let me just clean you. You've got a dirty face, everybody. Stop having a dirty face. There we go. This guy is epic, absolutely amazing. I've had the fortune of speaking with him in person and seeing him perform on stage. And it just blows my mind how fire. That's all I've got. That's the only word I can say. He just brings the fire. And I know that's a bit of a coy term, but it's true. He just brings the fire. It's amazing. It's epic. It's just that when he talks, sometimes it's a bit, oh gosh, because it's like the chills are like just flowing all over the place with the way that he manages to speak. And what makes it so is the fact that he just tells the truth, and it's just like the truth is there. Hey, Ebony, how's it going? Ebony's on board just here. Ebony, we're just waiting for Jamie to click the link. I hope everything is a-okay on his end. If not, no worries. I will just have a little check, see if it's going to be working. I need to tell him actually that it's going to be yeah, I can send him that one. That's perfect. There we go. Let me just send that to him. So hopefully he'll be on board in a second. So it's cool. It's cool. Here's Megan. Hey, Megan. By the way, I want to give a bit of a shout out to Megan as well. Megan's been helping out behind the scenes, which is really, really awesome. Thank you very much for that, Megan. I appreciate that. Megan is also going to be helping me out on my academy tomorrow. So, sorry, not tomorrow, today. It's 5:15, my group academy. Oh, okay. So it doesn't support StreamYard Tech. Interesting. Might have to do a live on Instagram, but we shall see. Have you downloaded Chrome, buddy? So here we go. Is it lagging on your computer, Emma? Or not, Emma? Ebony. So I think we need a bit of a stronger connection in the Woodhouse over there, don't we? Really. So I'm going to keep this one going because I'm going to show you behind the scenes. Normally I'll cut this off, but I want you to be aware about this as well. I'll normally cut this off. Thank you very much. Honestly, there'll be a burnout, I think, at some point on Sunday evening. I'll like this, but it's okay. I love it. I'm receiving so much energy from the speakers as well, and the fact that you guys are here too, giving us all your attention. It's so important. I want to give everything I possibly can because it is super, super important for me to do that with you because you're showing up. So I want to show up. I haven't got to show up. I want to show up. I want to show up to make sure that I can deliver as much as I possibly can to you guys because you guys are really sticking with it for the whole day. It's almost 8 hours. We've got two amazing speakers left. We've got Jamie Denyer and then we've got Celestia Barbie, who's going to be polishing off the day. And I'm really, really excited. And then tomorrow, it's almost as if we're hitting the land of Australia down under because we've got lots of Aussies on tomorrow. In fact, we've only got 2. But it's okay. And we've got somebody from Bali, so I'm so excited for that as well. Right, so I'm just waiting for Jamie to pop on this call. You can just keep on in the background if you want. You can have something to eat. Go and have something to eat. Go and help yourself. Help yourself to something to eat. It's okay. I've had by the way, those of you worried that I am not eating, I have eaten some protein bar. Okay. Now I don't recommend that because it's a bit naughty. Just to have a protein bar throughout the day. So yes. Oh, look at this. So we've got Kiana. Kiana saying hey. So Kiana is there she is. There's Kiana. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm so glad you said that, Kiana, because sometimes all I've got is the word Facebook user. I don't know who you are. So you need to give StreamYard permission to do that. And she's proud of me. Kiana, by the way, this epic lady who's there, Kiana will be speaking tomorrow about creating a safe space for your kids to open up to. How often have we actually had kids that just say, yeah, I'm fine, and you know deep down they're not fine at all, and you're really worried. Sometimes they feel like they can't express themselves, and when they do express themselves, eventually, hopefully they do, they release and they feel happier, and they can stop those blocks, those demons from overpowering them. So yeah, I can't wait to hear Kiana speak just there. And she's Kiana's so soothing. She's not even speaking to me, and I'm talking a nice soft toned voice compared to the beginning where I was like, rah, hello everybody. Let me just have a quick check in with Jamie, and we'll see how we go from there. Oh, here he is, Jamie. Jamie's there. Jamie, have I sent you the wrong link, bro? I may have sent you the wrong link. Let me just see if I can enter the broadcast studio. Jamie. Let me just see if I can enter. Nope, we don't want to do that. We do not want to do that. Let me just copy this again and do it again, and see if that one works. Hey, dude. Yes, that is the right one. That should be there, but I don't know why I'm not going to come in on the camera for. I've just sent you another link. See if that one works, my friend. This is what it looks like behind the scenes, everybody. It's the way it is. It's the way it is. All right then. So, right. Oh, Megan just sent me a question. What are you doing? What am I doing in the academy? I said, relax. It's okay. All I want you to do is just be there and just chill and just see what we're doing and have a good old chit chat. That's all you do. Talk. Have a little chit chat in the academy. So you're not doing anything crazy. Okay. Not doing anything crazy. Now it should direct Jamie to this stream just here. So maybe it's a communication thing. Maybe it is a. Oh, here he is. Here he is, guys. Are we ready to introduce the Greek preacher himself? Jamie, go to 3, 2, 1.
In the building.
In the house.
Man, modern technology can be your greatest friend. It can also be your worst enemy sometimes.
Dude, I'm right there with you, my man. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Honestly, and I'm not the most technically minded. Do you know what I mean? It's a big weakness of mine as well. So yeah, I had a little bit of a battle, but it's a battle that we've overcome. We're here, we're ready. Yeah, let's get it on.
Get it on, bro. That's cool. Yeah. So, dude, I don't know if you know this, but after this amazing session, we're going to have Celestia. So Celestia's going to polish it all off. And the reason why I said that was because we met at the Role Model Awards.
That's right. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And the way you flowed, what I loved about you the most was just that you were just yourself.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, it's like, so many people want to be other people. So many people are kind of, listen, it's not wrong or it's not negative to have a role model. It's not negative or wrong to have someone that you want to inspire to, but so many people just want to be other people. And it's like, in today's day and age, Del, it's like loads of youngsters, especially, they're so influenced by people. They know more about other people, celebrities and stuff, than they know about themselves. That's the thing. And this is like a massive part of my message, a massive point I want to get across is like don't become another someone else, become the first you. Like that's what I want people to be, is to be themselves, be authentic, because we're under a lot of influence at the moment, mate, where and it's only getting stronger, where like people want to be somebody different, that they're looking at this world disillusioned glasses, like, and things aren't all what they seem to be. So when people stick out from being authentic, then that's when you're going to be the best possible you, the best version of you. And like, listen, why kind of blend in with other people and be like other people when you were born to stand out, being your authentic self?
Yeah, mate, 1,000%. It's like, when I remember driving through France one time, and there were so many cows. And I thought, oh, look at those, there's black and white cows. They don't get them in England, but kept driving. There were so many. They all blended into each other. We just ignored them. And I didn't feel just that's it. But when you saw a brown cow, I was like, oh, well, there's the brown cow. I was like, be the purple cow in your field, you know, stand out, be something different.
Absolutely. And it's something that I've now come to realize, mate, that everything that I've been through, everything that I've experienced, you know, it has come good. It has come good now. Like, and that's kind of where I'm different from a lot of people, because I bring a very, very reality-based message. I can literally turn any negative into a positive. Now, I'm not saying that I don't experience the negative. It's like I'm not bulletproof. It's like I'm not exempt from life's tests and trials. I go through it with like every single person. A lot of people say to me, James, how is it you stay motivated all the time? How is it like you do all these talks? How is it you travel the country? How is it like you do what it is that you do with everything you've been through? Yeah, I'm doing something that I'm very, very passionate about, that I love, I truly love, and that I was born to do. But every now and again, there's so many times that I have to do it through gritted teeth. I have to do it through gritted teeth, like everybody else. And no one is exempt from this. But it's only because of the negative that I've been through, I've chosen to turn it into a positive. Now, there are a lot of youngsters that are going through so much at this time. Now, I've actually admitted that I wouldn't want to be a teenager in today's day and age, mate, because of the pressure, the peer pressure. But unfortunately, right, there's a real toxic mix, that that's happening, that there's a higher level of pressure that's going on, but there's also a lowering degree of resilience. That's what's happening now, because and that's a very, very toxic mix. There's unfortunately with like a lot of the youngsters nowadays, like millennials and stuff. Yeah, they want stuff to happen kind of rapid. Listen, there's no patience anymore. There's no patience, and even with the adults, it's like whenever we're using a gadget of technology, if it starts buffering and makes us wait for 10 seconds, it's like we want to drop kick it through a window. Do you know what I mean? Because how dare you make us wait? Do you know what I mean? So like patience is gone. It's like if you want to download a film, it's like you can download a film now. It's like if you want food, you can go through a drive-through. It's like not at the moment, do you know what I mean? Like that, but like you can go through a drive-through and it's there in your lap a minute later. If something happens halfway around the world, you know about it instantly. So it's like patience is gone. It's like no one wants to work for anything anymore, and they want to put in minimum effort for maximum reward every single time. And what you have to do is you have to flip it. You have to put in maximum effort for minimum reward. So it's like, I'm not saying that life is easy, and to be honest, life is becoming more and more severe, more savage, more sinister. So what I want to do is I don't want to disrespect any youngster, any youth, any young adult, or any parent by saying, look, this is what you can do, this is what you can achieve. Yeah, I'm all about building dreams, like I'm all about empowering people, but there's no use in building a 5-bedroom mansion, like all top spec, if you have not invested in the foundation. And the foundation is the reality of life. Not like, listen, you can't excuse what's going to come your way. It doesn't matter how positive you are, how productive you are, how helpful you are, how kind you are, how generous you are. At the end of the day, listen, life is going to come and smash your front door in. Smash your front door, and it's not going to knock on the door and come in like politely. It's going to smash the front door and it's going to come in unannounced. Do you know what? So I don't want to disrespect any parent. I don't want to disrespect any kids by saying, look, this isn't going to happen. What I do is I give them the tools, and what I do is I give them the hope and the empowerment, right? But the key word here is hope. I give them the hope that they can get over these challenges when they come, not if they come. Because so many people would just say, listen, life is amazing, life is beautiful, life is incredible, life is so positive. Yeah, but listen, if you think that way all the time, I mean, like the Stoic mentality is, know what your dreams and mentalities are. Sorry, your dreams, your goals, your ambitions are, but acknowledge the negative, acknowledge the bad that's going to happen. So when the bad happens, when it happens, not if. When it happens, it doesn't hit you as hard, and you are prepared for it. You're prepared, because if you think that everything's going to go rosy, everything's just glittery, everything's going to be like fairy dust and sugar coating, boom, when that challenge comes and smashes your front door in, man, it takes you out. It takes you out. So that's what I like to do, is I like to bring so many negatives and I will turn it into a positive. If you've been through abuse, I will turn it into a positive. If you've been through bullying, or you're going through bullying, I will turn it into a positive. Listen, if you're self-harming, I will turn it into a positive. If you're going through grief, I will turn it into a positive. If you're going through depression, like anxiety, stress, post-traumatic stress, I will turn it into a positive. I guarantee you. Why? Because I've done it myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you've been there, you've done that. I would rather seek counsel from somebody such as yourself that's actually been there and gone through that than some chap who sits in a chair that's gone through all the qualifications that mum and daddy put them through school. I'm glad you said the fact that you said that, obviously acknowledge that negative's going to happen, and I've been doing that. Jamie, I know you have, and you know, my heart bleeds for you, it really does. I have never lost anyone super close to me. I've never lost anyone, and I'm so thankful for that. But not at the same time, because like I don't know what I'm going to be like when that happens. So I have to imagine myself. I have to imagine my mom leaving me, my dad leaving me, my brothers. I have to imagine my little pug dying, because I know when he goes to heaven across that own bridge, mate, I'm finished. I'm going to be finished for I don't know how long. And
some people just say they're pets, right? Some people just say they're pets, but they're like, do you know what I mean? They're family members. Do you know what I mean? And this is the hope that everyone has. But I need to tell you that it's the truth. That yeah, you never know what you're capable of until something happens. I mean, I've got the two biggest inspirations in my life, which is my sister and my brother-in-law. They carry on regardless of a murdered child. So that is the biggest pain that anyone will ever face in their life, and yet they still carry on. My sister still set up his life-saving foundation in his honor. My brother-in-law still went about his business, still run the football team, still helped disadvantaged youngsters. So what excuse have I got? But at the end of the day, my sister said that if I was told that this was going to happen 2 weeks before, 2 months before, 2 years before, she said I would have said, no, there's no way that I'm going to get through it. But it's not until it happens you realize what it is you're capable of. Because at the end of the day, so many people are their own worst enemy, their own worst critic. They will be saying stuff like, listen, they haven't got any value. They haven't got a lot of self-worth. They haven't got a lot of self-esteem. And they don't think that they're important. They don't think they have an impact. They don't think that they have purpose in the world. And they think that they wouldn't be able to get over that if they went through it. But honestly, that's why the biggest tests and the trials are our biggest opportunities. Because at the end of the day, when they happen, we prove to ourselves what it is we're capable of and what we can get through. Because at the end of the day, life isn't going to challenge you once and then leave you alone. Life isn't going to challenge you and then say, okay, you got over that. You've paid your dues. Now I'm going to leave you alone. No. There's going to be another test further on, and then another one, and then another one. And that's why I've looked at like bullying. That's why I've looked at divorce. That's why I've looked at financial ruin. That's why I've looked at murder, why I've looked at grief, why I've looked at depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. And I'm here as the dad in which I am, the family member in which I am, like the partner in which I am, the son in which I am, and doing all this despite what it is that I've been through. And I'm nobody special. So at the end of the day, I just need others to know that they're capable of it. Because you have a choice. You have a choice of whether this knocks you down and keeps you down, or whether it pumps you up and fuels you to carry on. And if I can do it, then so many other people can do it, because we're human and we all get that choice.
I love how you said that choice, man. It is a choice. I strongly believe in that. It is a choice. You've got a choice whether you want to show up. You could, like when I was being bullied in school, I made the choice between, do I want to let these kids beat the confidence out of me or beat the confidence into me? And it's like a choice, you know?
And this is the thing, is like why I was getting bullied like back in the day. It's like I had a severe stutter down. I had a severe stutter, and it's like I had to get like revolutionary kind of like verbal therapy like sent over from Australia. And this wasn't like Amazon next day delivery days. Like this was 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Like this was 6 weeks you had to wait. So at the end of the day, like I had all this verbal kind of training coming over via Australia, severe stutter. Now I'm one of the most high octane speakers out there. If you want me to go for an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours, whichever, at that speed, and I'll carry on going. But it was also because of my style. Now my friends cousin lived out in the Bronx, New York, and like hip hop has always been my favorite genre of music, right? We're talking about when I was 9 years old and saw my first Def Jam concert. We're talking like Run DMC, Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, and LL Cool J as a 9-year-old, and that is it, right? Game over, right? It's always been my favorite genre. So my friend's cousin was sending like a fashion like clothes over from like the Bronx. Like it wasn't even in his country. So it's like I was an easy target. Like I had all like the hip hop like clothes. I had a stutter. I had all like designs in my hair, like all like cut with the zigzags and stuff. So I was always an easy target. But you know what? I haven't changed. I haven't changed. Now, I mean, I know I don't look like it, but I'm a 42-year-old granddad at the end of the day. I've got two people granddad. So at the end of the day, I'm still wearing this stuff. But people remember me. Like, even if they don't remember my name, they say, well, who's the guy? Who's the speaker in the cap? Who's the speaker in the tracksuit? Who's the, you know, I might look like that I'm going to mug you, but at the end of the day, I'm more liable to hug you, if you understand. But they say, so who's the speaker in the cap? Who's the speaker like the you know, that looks like he's going to mug you? That's the guy that I want to speak at my next event. That's the guy I want to come into my school. That's the guy I want to speak at the corporate event. That's the guy. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, yeah, because I've stayed true to myself, it's come back and paid me back.
And that takes a lot of resilience, bro. Like you were saying the pressure's increasing these days and resilience is going down. But you showed that resilience by standing out. But you stood out. And yeah, you may say you're an easy target. I guess you were an easy target. But the only reason why you were an easy target is because other people feared that. I believe that people pick on other things because they don't understand it, can't process it, and they fear it. They want to, like, oh, what's the best form of defense? Attack, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah. They will see something that they really like or they're envious of. And that's something that I really like to kind of hit home to, like, the bullying victim, is to say, listen, there's something in you. There's something that they see that they don't like. And just because they don't like it, it doesn't mean to say that it's wrong. It doesn't mean to say that it's a negative in any way. Like, that's only their opinion first and foremost. But people don't like something that they're envious of. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, listen, stay with who you are, stay on track. And it's like, because if you nurture it, if you look after it, then yeah, and it's something, you know, it's going to turn into something amazing. And it's something that I learned very, very early on. I mean, I grew up on a council estate. I mean, surrounded by drug dealers, drug users. I saw 2 murders by the time I was 13 years old. Like, drug deals gone wrong, broad daylight. You know, it's one of those that I'm very, very proud of myself, very proud of myself, right? This is where I give myself credit, because there was a lot of bad influence. Like, I was witness to domestic violence. I was witness to, like, people getting beat up. Like, I was witness to all this stuff. But I have so much respect for people that, for whatever reason, go down the wrong path and then turn their life around and they want to do good. Yeah. I have respect for them people. But, you know, the people I have the most respect for is the ones like me that didn't blame my environment, that didn't blame all the influences that I was around, that had every opportunity or every reason to go down the wrong road. And yeah, I didn't. I stayed strong. My heart was too strong. So, and I haven't ever tried a drug in my life. I've never, ever tried a cigarette in my life. So at the end of the day, despite all that was around me, I haven't hurt anyone except inside a kickboxing ring where I was semi-professional for a little while. I haven't used violence. So I'm very proud of people. Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for people that kind of go down the wrong route and then decide to come round. But the people that I have the most respect for are the ones like me that stand strong despite all those influences, and yet you still stay strong. Yeah, that's what people should do. That's what people should do, is stay strong in the first place. And that's what that's what I like to instill into these youngsters. That's what I want to say, is no matter what's said to you, no matter what is brought to you, no matter what influence you're under, you can still make that right choice to be the bigger person and to take the right path despite all the temptations and all the influences around you.
That's mental. So this is terrible. I'm going to be completely vulnerable with you right now, because it means, to me, it means nothing to just, like, oh, I'll try a cigarette. I've definitely drunk. I like a bit of whiskey now and again, and I've tried a drug, which was marijuana, because I found a way to relax. There's a lot more trials now that say that's actually very beneficial if you do it in the right way. So through oils, then that's great. And to see. I'll be vulnerable by saying I assumed. I'm sorry. I apologize. I just made an ass out of you and me by assuming that that's something you may have done because of that environment. So, man, you must have been bulletproof. Are you sitting there saying you're not bulletproof? You must have been bulletproof to the hey, the fitting in. Hey, try this. No, I don't want to try this. Try this.
Yeah, and I was under, you know, like the influence of older peers. Yeah. As well, so they always try and get the younger ones to kind of do a little bit of dirty work or to do. But I learned the power of the word no. I learned the power of the word no, and this is something that I love to instill into primary school kids, because at the end of the day, it's like the world's problems are are becoming more savage and severe, and they're being bestowed upon younger shoulders as well. And it's another toxic mix that's happening right now, that there's loads of these little kids who are witnessing and going through like the tests and the trials of like the world, you know, with what the world brings at a younger and younger age. But yeah. I kind of talk to them about like a program in which I've got is about putting on your armor, and talking about the you know, the shield, the breastplate, the helmet, the sword. And the sword I bring out as the words in which you use. Now, a sword can be used for the good and the bad. It can be used as a form of protection. Yes, it can cut stuff down in which you need, but it can also hurt people. It can draw blood, and that's exactly like your words. And if you haven't got anything positive to say, then the sword should go back into its case, like your mouth should be closed if it's nothing positive to say. But one of the most powerful words in which you can use is the word no, because these kids, the younger ones now, they're under a lot of pressures, and some of them are the most sinister and severe pressures that you can be under. And it's one of those that I can't stop it from happening. I can't stop it from happening. But what I can give you is the tools. I can give you the hope, and I can give you the empowerment that when this happens to you, that you can draw your sword and you can say, no, what you're doing to me isn't right. And I think, listen, I don't have to explain anything. I mean, we're people of the world. We know what's going on. And this is what I'm saying is at the end of this lockdown, right? The kids, there's going to be amazing kids coming out of this lockdown, right? There's going to be more creative kids that you've ever known. There's going to be dancers, right? There's going to be artists. Why? Because they were allowed to draw a rainbow on their windows, and they were allowed to draw rainbows on their pavement with chalk, right? There's going to be dancers because they've been dancing out in the garden, right? There's going to be singers because they felt free, because we're under like the educational system that is like 19th century industrialism that just wants to create college professors. And it's like, you know, they put all the creative arts right down at the bottom, because no matter where you go in the world, it's the same hierarchy of subjects, you know, the languages like maths, English at the top, you know, and it's one of those that, you know, all the arts are at the bottom. But listen, if this was followed, then we wouldn't have some of the beautiful stuff that we have around today. So this lockdown is going to create amazing human beings. But this lockdown is also going to give us severely damaged human beings, because there are the victims that are in lockdown with their abusers at this particular time. And those are the ones that I'm going to be there for. Those are the ones that I'm going to go into the trench with. Those are the ones that I will travel the length and the breadth of this country picking them up, right? And my evidence speaks for itself about what it is that I do. The evidence is there. Like, you can't fake the stuff where there's youngsters saying, because of you, I did not commit suicide. Because of you, I'm still here. Because of you, I got through the depression. Because of you. So that's like my life fulfilled, because someone said, because of you, I didn't give in. But a lot of people are about the glitz and the glamour. I'm all about the grit and the grime. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm about, is the grit and the grime, because those are the ones that where they have severely lost hope. They have nothing. And no amount of positive affirmation, no amount of sugar coating or fairy dust or rose petals is going to bring them out. Because at the end of the day, that's all they want to do is pull the covers back over their heads, or they don't even want to face the day, or God forbid, they don't even want to be here anymore. They've lost hope. Those are the ones that I'm there for. Those are the ones that I am going to pick up, and I'm going to say, listen, I can't walk this path for you, but I'm going to walk this path with you at the end of the day. So let's get it on. You have a friend in me. Now you have an ally in me. Let's go. Let's go. Because for whatever it is that I've been through, have sympathy for someone is powerful. That's life-changing, to have sympathy for someone. But to have actually gone through the life-saving and most powerful thing is empathy. So I'm pleased for every single thing that I've been through and experienced, because now I can bring light to others who are in severe darkness at this time.
Yeah, and then, bro, they'll freaking need that. They will freaking need that. They will just need a friend. They'll need someone to listen to. It sounds like there's a lot of warrior analogies just there, you know, with the sure sword and the armor and the helmet, and the fact that you're going to walk in the trenches. I love that. And it's almost as if like it's a battle. You've got to keep on going. You've got to keep on fighting. And people that get successful, they get successful. Oh, okay, cool. There you go. So he's successful and that's it. But no, the more the battle is, they've got to maintain it. So when you do get that out of that bit of depression, it's just like, well, what's going to stop them from going down there again?
Yeah,
you've got to keep on going.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is people are always searching. It's like you look at the state of play we're in at the moment and the kind of condition in which culture is in at the moment, because it's like it seems like we've forgotten how to be happy. It's like there's programs on how to be happy, there's like books on how to be happy, there's YouTube videos on how to be happy, there's all this stuff on how to be happy. Like, so have we forgotten how to be happy now? Like, have we forgotten like this, you know, what invigorates us and what kind of fires us up? Because at the end of the day, like I said, we know more about other people and what's going on in their lives via social media and all like the avenues in which we go through than we do about ourselves. Self-investment is the best investment that you will ever make. It's the only investment that will not lose value no matter how long you keep hold of it. It's like the self-investment is key. Learning about yourself, learning what invigorates you, learning what fires you up. We know what fires other people up, but we don't know fully what fires us up. And that's why this time has been so key, because it has given us time. And I put the challenge out to people: have you used it wisely? Have you quietened down? Have you spent more time with yourself? Have you done the things in which you love doing? Have you become more spiritual? Have you engaged in meditation, or are you too busy doing like 10,000 TikToks? Is it one of them that it's like, you know, listen, are you engaging with the right people, or are you just sitting on social media? Like, are you spending it wisely? Because so many people will just buy a book and then read it from cover to cover. 2 weeks later, they just expect stuff to happen and nothing happens. And then they say, oh, well, that hasn't happened, but I'll just go and buy another book then. And then same again. But it's all in the action. It's all in the application. People just want to put in minimum effort to get maximum reward every single time now. And this has given us the time to really assess and analyze who we truly are. But at the end of the day, like it's what you said, Dale, that even though you help people out, like, what's to stop them from going back down again? Because human nature will come into this. Human nature will come into this. 3 different groups of people after lockdown. There'll be the people that won't change in any shape, way, or form. They will just go back to their old habits, their old ways, their old structures, and they won't have changed at all. There are people that are looking at this, oh, yeah, I've changed, and they've got the buzz and they've got the feel-good factor and all this, that. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, nah, the feel-good factor's gone. And they'll be moaning about work again, and they'll be moaning about the people in which they hang about with. They'll be hanging around with the wrong people, back into the old stuff. But then the other group of people, the ones that say they're going to change, and they do. And those are the ones, that 33% will be up against the other 66% trying to change them. And I just know that I'm going to be in the 33%, and I'm going to take as many people as I can with me at the end of the day. And I will change as many of the 66% as I can.
Yeah, dude, that's powerful, man. I didn't even think of it like that. Of course, there's going to be people that are just going to like their little comfort bubble, and that's cool. That's okay. And there's people that you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to change it, and then go back down again. It's all down to human nature. And the ones that are really going to take action. I've seen a lot of social media. There's a lot of people that are putting on things like, oh, you want to learn an instrument? You want me to learn a new language? Oh, get lost. I've got to raise these kids, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do this, and now I've got to do this. And now you're telling me to do social media, and then telling me to learn museums. All I want to do is have a glass of wine. And I'm like, oh God, this is an opportunity. The world is healing, bro. The world is starting. The world's doing this. The world's doing this. Oh, because it's
finally. Yeah, it's like the waters of Venice are now clear. There's dolphins now swimming. It's like wildlife is coming from like hiding, and now you're seeing all this beautiful wildlife, that because they're thinking, man, humans have become extinct. The humans have become extinct. Like now like the wildlife is coming further in to like in town, and it's like, man, there was an incredible picture that I saw. It wasn't too far from me. A group, like a family of deers, just sitting on a grass bank, and you see these like terraced houses behind it. So it's in like an estate. It's in an estate, but this family of deers have just come to rest because there's no humans around. And there was videos out of like just a group of like sheep like walking through like this village and stuff, like these goats and stuff, and it's amazing. You know, listen, we need to change in a big way. We need to change in a big way, and this has been the opportunity. It's like we've been literally sent to our rooms as a you know, like a disruptive child. A disruptive child. We have been sent to our rooms and told to think about our actions, and you can only come back down, close your bedroom door and come back down when you've thought about what you've done. And then you think about it, right? Okay, I'm ready to change my behavior now. And this is what the world has done to us. It's literally, it may not be our bedroom doors, but we've definitely closed our front doors. So it's you know, it's one of those that we need to think about what we've done, but our actions need to back it up. And this is something in which I say, Dal, that it may seem really, really strange coming from a professional public speaker, but talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Its actions will speak louder than words. I only talk about what I can back up and I can show with evidence. And it's one of those that you know, this is something that I truly kind of try and hit home to people, is put in all the effort in which you can to gain evidence about what it is that you do and what it is that you've done, because you cannot fake that stuff. Anyone can be anyone on social media. Anyone can be anyone to anyone and just call themselves something. It's like, let's say, like, I'm just going to take it from my point of view. I'm not going to talk about anyone else. It's like I will talk about just from my point of view. Anyone else that put, you know, they can put up on their bio, they can put up on any form of social media, motivational speaker. Okay, show me the evidence of you standing in front of an audience where they've literally paid your fee, your accommodation, all your expenses. Why? Because you are the go-to person. Don't just be sat in front of a camera doing it. Listen, it's going to help, but I've worked too hard at what it is that I do and how I do it to have that label be taken lightly, because I travel the country. I've slept in service stations. I've been from one end of the country to the other, like miles, clocking up miles, like going from a primary school to prisons, from one day speaking to primary school kids to the next day speaking to murderers, rapists and category A sex offenders, to then go and speak to a Premiership football club, to then go and speak to young offenders like prisoners, then go and speak to comprehensive school, then go and speak to college. Like, I've worked hard, but my evidence backs up what I do and what I've done. You cannot fake that. So if everyone put as much effort into actually achieving what it is they want to achieve, instead of just letting the world think they are what they are, then a lot more would get done. A lot more would get done.
Yeah, and focus on themselves as well, bro. I mean, you smashed me at the beginning of the conversation by saying that people know more about, your youngsters know more about celebrities than they do themselves. I'm like, why would you want to invest in someone else's life for? You're the most unique person on this planet. You are the most unique person on this planet. Why don't you invest in yourself? And if that person is a celebrity, inspires you, wicked. Use that person as a role model. Don't live their life, man. Just create something for you. But I always like to think of a purpose. Like, what helps me as a purpose now is so clear. It's crystal clear as day. Like the waters of Venice, that you've got your purpose, and your purpose is to do exactly what it is you're doing right now, which is to inspire and motivate, hold people's hand, show them the path, be with them. Don't make them walk it, but just lead them through it, away from adversity, to make them a stronger human being. And dude, just looking at this, I don't know if you can see this, but you've got a fan in Kiana. Kiana's speaking tomorrow, buddy. Can you see that? Yeah.
Big up.
Mine of a husband just there, which is cool. And there's so many comments just flying in just here, just now, because you are being real, your authentic self, which is something I really, really want to hit home.
Yeah, that's right. And I wouldn't be able to be this if I hadn't gone through all the stuff in which I've been through. So at the end of the day, it's like, I'm thankful for that stuff. You don't want to be going through the stuff at the time in which you go through it. I mean, it's like the worst possible thing. It's like, woe is me. Like, I really don't want to be in this. But it's not until you go through it, you prove to yourself what you can get through. And then you look back, you're actually thankful for it. Thank you for making me this person. Thank you for making me this example. Thank you for making me this warrior. Like, because now it's time for me to go and build an army and let other people know that they're warriors as well. Because trust me, there are bigger and more fierce, more sinister and savage battles that are out there that need fighting. So it will be warriors at the end of the day that's needed. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I say about the grit and the grind, because that's where a lot of life is. I'm afraid that's where a lot of life is, and no one that's ever made it in the world just got there, that was taken and put there. Man, they've had to go through so much in order to get to where they are. And a lot of people want that. A lot of people want that, and they see what it is they've achieved and they want it instantly, but they're not interested in what's involved in actually getting there. But you know, it's one of those things that, yeah, if we put in kind of maximum effort and get minimum reward, then we won't be tired. Once we know that, we won't be disheartened. Because right, we spoke about, like you said, about knowing about other people, and it doesn't even have to be celebrities now. It doesn't even have to be celebrities. On a more minor scale, people are doing that every single day, scrolling through social media. It's like they're looking at what other people's lives are like, and you know, whether you know it or not, like that stuff is chipping away at your soul, because you're seeing someone else go on holiday, you're seeing someone else get a new extension, you're seeing someone else get a new car, you're seeing someone else buy these clothes, you're seeing someone else have it, and you're kind of comparing yourself. Oh, I wish I had that extension, I wish I had that car, I wish I had that. Oh, look at what's happening in their life. And it's like, you know more about them than what's going on actually inside your own four walls. But you have to know that it is so illusional. It's like social media, like to a large part, is so fake, because just because someone's smiling in a picture doesn't mean to say as soon as that picture is posted that they don't then fall back into a pit of depression. It doesn't mean to say that that beautiful photo that that couple have put up are not suffering domestic violence. It doesn't mean to say that they, you know, a lovely family picture in which is put up that that child isn't going through some form of abuse. It doesn't mean to say that. So don't get sucked in. Don't get sucked in, and don't compare. Again, you are who you are. You're unique. Like, you don't know the odds in which were against you to be here, to be who you are. Man, we're up in the billions, the trillions, like whatever, to one, to be who you are, where you are, and to have what you have. It's just a lot of people think that they're worthless. They have no value, no purpose, and it's you know, it's devastating to think that, because everybody has something to give. Everybody has a mission. Everybody has a skill. They have a talent, and whether they know it or not, listen, you may have to find it. You may have to find it, but at the end of the day, listen, it's worth looking for, because once you get that, there's no stopping you.
No, there's no stopping you at all. It's amazing, really, because I liked what you said at the beginning. You said there's something special about you, and I agree. The reason is because you're a miracle. Because the chances of you being here is a lady called Mel Robbins. She didn't do the maths.
I love Mel. I love Mel. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like you said, dude, it was 1 in 400 trillion of chance of you being here. If you were consummated at 5 seconds before, you wouldn't be here. It'd be a different Jane. It'd be someone different. You know, and you're not. There's nothing special about you. You're an absolute miracle. So you need to find a way to use the miracle that you've been given. Jamie here can help you discover. If any one of the speakers speaking, if you receive any of this information right now and you go and tell your mate on Zoom or something, and when you're allowed back to school and you empower them, that is so amazing. I just wanted to impact one person, and I know for I'm going to be impacted. We are going to be impacting thousands, because they deserve it. They deserve to be astronomical and use their gift on this planet, bro. With your, because I've only met 2 daughters of yours.
Yeah. My 2 girls were with me. My 2 girls were with me the night in which, at the awards.
Yeah, you smashed it. Yeah. So I met them. Beautiful girls, beautiful little souls. And if there's so with yourself, obviously it must be, you're a motivational speaker. You're more than that. You are so much more than that. But with your kids, do you have to like talk to them differently as opposed to you do like kids on stage? And I know it's a tough question because do you know what I mean?
To a certain degree, but it's like, you know, it's one of those that I will still give them like the nuggets of wisdom. You know, I will still like drop the positive bombs, you know, left, right, and center. Do you know what I mean? I'm all about positive reinforcement. I'm very, very firm when they do something wrong. I tell them where they're going, but I also like to explain. You know, it's one of those that I've been a massive communicator with them ever since they were babies, ever since they were like toddlers, like babies in my arms. They couldn't even walk, but I would always be singing to them no matter what I was doing. They would be in my arms, and even if I was cooking with like the other arm, sorting something out in like the cupboards with it, I would always be explaining to my little girls what it was we were doing. I'd be singing to them. I'd make up songs about the silliest things. So I've always been a communicator with them. And that has kind of brought us to where we are now, that I carry on being that I like to tell them where they've done something right. I will reinforce what they've done amazingly well, but I will also come down hard on what they do wrong, and I will be firm, but I'll always explain why. And they will, you know, they're very, very respectful of that. Because one of the big problems in which based in primary schools right now, that although the children have perfect hearing, some of the times when the teachers say their names, like some of the real younger ones, they don't react straight away. Why? Because they don't get the level of investment at home, which should be their sanctuary, which should be the place where, you know, where support is given, like to the highest degree. That their name isn't used. They may only be spoken about and negative and kind of put in front of the electronic babysitter at the end of the day. So communication is so important. It's fundamental, and it is like the key to a lot of things. So yeah, I do speak to my daughters differently, but some of they've actually they have actually come to a couple of my talks, and they have sat there and they've listened how I speak to these youngsters. So they've actually experienced my talk in its full capacity. Like I haven't held back in any way, and kind of during the talk they were coming up and giving me a cuddle. They were coming up and I was asking daddy for a kiss, but I was doing that, then having to carry on, and then they were coming up, they was asking me stuff, you know, blah, blah. And so they've kind of experienced what their dad is about, and that's an amazing lesson, like a gift in which I gave them, just like the awards night. You know, that's something that I treasure so highly.
100%, dude. And I was there. I saw all of it. It was really unique. It was an awesome talk. Now I'm not a parent. I'm not a parent at all, and this is the reason why I wanted to speak to people like you. And I think, you know, I've smashed the nail on the head. You do what you do, and you're a grandparent, for goodness sake. So I was wondering if there's some parents that are on this that are kind of finding it hard to wear all the hats: the parent hat, the chef hat, the husband hat, the wife hat, the teacher hat, the head teacher hat. You know, now they've got a homeschool. I've kind of just got a bit of advice, a bit of a little golden nugget there, which was communication. But is there anything else that you might want to kind of like impart on parents that are watching this that might be giving themselves a hard time? What might you say to kind of give them encouragement?
First and foremost, I need to tell you that what you're doing is enough. What you're doing is enough right now. It's enough. I need you to know that you're doing the best you can. I need you to know that you're doing an awesome job. And I need you to do something like massive for me. And that is, for goodness sake, take the pressure off of yourself. Because in third stage quarantine, third quarter quarantine. Now, this is a scientific fact. It's all about, this actually affects astronauts and stuff. It's like when you go into like third phase quarantine, third quarter quarantine, it's like you become disheartened, you become discouraged. Why? Because you look back and see what you've already been through, but now the government are telling you that there's still loads in front of you. So you become disheartened and discouraged. And just like a body, when it's starved of food, it starts eating itself. The brain actually eats itself in this way when it's starved of its normal routine and structure. It starts making up scenarios in your head, right? You get more snappy, you get less patient, you become more impatient. So this, everything you're going through is normal right now, but you are doing an amazing job. I need you to know something, right? In the next 10, 15, 20 years, no matter what happens from now up until lockdown, what has happened before, your kid will look back at this was most probably the best time they ever had, because they literally got to spend time with mum and dad. Your kids will not suffer just because they're not being kept up to date or might be getting the level of teaching they may get at school to do with maths, to do with languages, to do with all this, that, and the other. They will not suffer. They will not suffer for this time, this break. The world needed a break. We needed a break. Little ones needed a break, because if you go and speak to teachers now, one of my very best friends is a primary school teacher, and she said that listen, the pressure in which we're under, and I hope now that after the lockdown there is a greater appreciation for these teachers, these amazing people that aren't just teachers. We are talking like role models, we are talking like social workers as well. They are life coaches, they are like family figures to some of these kids. I hope there's a greater appreciation for these teachers, but even though they're not getting that level, like, you need to know that even like the teachers needed a break, because as my friend said, listen, we need to tick these boxes, we need to like get these marks done, like we need to like learn this curriculum, and it's like boom, okay, quiet time now. Everybody needs a rest. Don't worry. You're doing the best you can. You're doing an amazing job. What you're doing is enough. And this will not impact your kids in any shape, way, or form. In fact, it will benefit them, because it has given them time to relax, rest, and really express themselves. And like I say, at the end of this, your kids will look back on this as the best time they ever had. The best time. Why? Because they just got to spend time with the people that they love. And that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. And they will have gained talents or skills or got a new love for something they never necessarily knew they had. So take the pressure off of yourself. Doing an amazing job.
I love that. And I love that explanation. Take the pressure off yourself. It's strange, dude. I don't have children, but I can be honest and open with you. I felt a little bit of pressure on me as well, like doing this, you know, all the doubt pops in my head on you. You may have felt it like now and again for your talks, but it's just like, oh, people are going to show, people are going to enjoy it, they're going to get value. What if my speakers don't want to do it? And do you know what? It's just like that pressure valve. So I just did a run this morning, did some exercise this morning, just be like, Dale, it is what it is, man. Just chill. You're doing this. Your intentions are pure. You guys watching. You're parents. You were parents for a reason, for love, and you're showing that love throughout their life through this. And if you put pressure on yourself, you're not showing yourself love, and you cannot give something you don't have. So give yourself your little love nugget first, and then you can impart that on your children. And it sounds to me, bro, that's exactly what you're doing every single day with your children, just like you're just imparting the love.
And again, I'm my own biggest enemy. I'm like my own worst critic. Yeah. Like, I dealt myself. Do you know what I mean? So people need to know that, again, that's normal. Like, so many people do it. So many people like go through that. And why? Because we are human. Yeah, that's it. Left, right, and center. Like we're human. So listen, we are in this together. And we all go through the same stuff. No one is exempt. I'm bulletproof in some aspects, but not all aspects. It's only through the choices in which I've made and the choices in which I continue to make. I still make very, very bad choices. Let's put it that way. I still make very bad choices, and I have to kind of rectify. So we're in this together, man.
You take responsibility. You're a human. So you have to
own it. And like you said about the doubts that you had for this, Dale, I mean, listen, whatever this accomplishes, whatever this achieves, you know, you need to know that the right people would have said yes, the right people would have said no. But the biggest travesty would have been you not doing anything at all. Do you know what I mean? This may not have turned out how you would have liked. You may have had another vision for it. You may have had another kind of outlook on it all, and like an overall perspective of what it, you know, what you want it to achieve. But at the end of the day, whatever it achieves will be 1,000,000% better and more positive and productive than if you had done nothing at all. And that's what so many people do, is they do nothing at all because it's the easy way out, because they have this fear this false evidence appearing real, this fear. And that's the thing, is it's false evidence appearing real. It's like you had it most probably for this today, but at the end of the day, listen, it you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, and it's achieved what it's going to achieve, and it's going to help who it's designed and destined to help.
But yeah, dude, and I had that with my book as well, releasing the book. I don't know if I told you this, but I was hovering my finger over the publish button for when I released my book, because I'm dyslexic, right. And that's a big thing of mine, for like 40 minutes. Like, I don't want to do it. What if people think I can't spell? What if this? What if this? What if? But it's, at the end of the day, boom. And then I've achieved, for me personally, I'm really proud of that, because I've achieved a lot from that. And I've impacted a lot of people. So my question is, I know Celestia's coming on in a second. She might be joining us, by the way, bro. But
right, there we go.
Here she is. I was going to ask about a book for you. Are you writing a book, or you've written a book, or what's the crack, dude?
No, I mean, it's something that's on the agenda. But I haven't got. Listen, I've been through a lot. I've experienced a lot. I carry on experiencing. But at the end of the day, like, there's still much more to experience. Like, I don't want to be like, you know, a Justin Bieber bringing out an autobiography when it's like, you know, too early. But no, I've got a lot of work still to do, and it's like coming from all these different angles now. Like I'm pleased you published your book, and I hope it did have spelling mistakes in it, because that would have shown people that listen, if this guy who's real and he has this condition can do it, then so can I. Because it's exactly the same when I was diagnosed with ADHD, mild OCD, mild autism back last year, that 2 weeks later I was in a primary school telling the kids about the superpowers in which they have. Yeah, so it's like you need to be as real as can be, and it's like, you know, 2019 was brutal to me, properly brutal, and that's why this lockdown, this is why this is just a walk in the park for me, because 2019 was a proper brutal year for me. Proper brutal is like what I went through, but I'm pleased I went through it, because it's made me the person in which I am, and it's making me a more powerful force in 2020. And listen, I'm like a pressure cooker just waiting to go off, because at the end of the day, like, there was so many engagements that were booked in before like lockdown, which haven't been cancelled. They've just been put back. So I can't wait. I'm chomping at the bit to really. But this whole lockdown is giving me new material. Like, this whole lockdown is giving me a new perspective. This whole lockdown is giving me more ammunition to absolutely fire out. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot that I could say that's in a book. I mean, I've got a book in me, but there's something that needs to be put into order. It needs to be prioritized, and a book isn't on that priority list just yet for me.
Okay, cool. Well, whenever it's going to be, dude, it's going to be ready when it's supposed to be ready, and we're going to be really excited. The comments, man. There's so much love out for you. I can almost bet that you're going to get contacted by a few people to speak with them on their little summits as well. So
yeah, listen, I'm here, and it's like, you know, it's one of those that. Yeah, I got a lot of worthwhile stuff to say, but it's only because of like life experience. And yeah, listen, I'm all about the help. You know, it's one of those that I'm not about, you know, listen, if I'm on the same kind of lineup as anyone that's, you know, that's getting paid, and I weren't getting a penny, I would still bring more passion. I'd still bring more fire. I'd still bring more heat than what people are that were getting paid. And I'll be doing it for free. Why? Because it's just in my DNA to do. It's what I was born to do, and I'm just fulfilling like the purpose that was given to me and the responsibility that's been bestowed upon my shoulders, because there's too many youngsters out there, too many young adults, and too many adults as well that are hurting, that need me. So I'm not going to ask for lighter burdens. I'm just going to ask for stronger shoulders in which to carry this, and that's how I go about my business.
That, mate. Yeah, why? Don't wish it was easy, wish you were better. And that's exactly what you just said. That's awesome. Dude, are you ready for this one? Here she is.
Oh, darling. I'm a bit
happy in a place to be.
There she is.
Right. It's having a bit of a technical issue.
Oh, one of them. Oh,
Dude, I like
yeah. It's not. It's no fun if you don't have the tech issues. So it's exactly the same as that.
I'll figure it out. I like what you said about kind of getting the spelling mistakes right in a book, though. That's something that I always tend to do. You think it's right, it looks good, you send it off, and then you realise there's not one mistake but 10 mistakes, and your brain didn't see it. And I think that can happen to a lot of us, really. I think it's something that it's such an annoying thing as well. You really thought that it was good, and then you're just like, oh no. And it can just be something so simple as a full stop, or do you know what I mean? Is there supposed to be a comma there, yes or no? Just simple things, really. But I think the more you work on it, the more you start to realise kind of where their mistakes lie. You just get better and better the more you push through.
100%, 100%.
So many people, like, they strive for perfection as well. Like, they strive for perfection. Like, I'm not going to do this until it's perfect. Listen, nothing will ever be perfect. Just kind of get it done, and then get it out there, and then kind of work with it as something, you know, as and when. So yeah, don't strive for perfection. There's nothing. There's no such thing anyway. Because we're all learning. We're all still learning on the job. One of the most spine-chilling comments that was made to me by a student after I did a talk. He said to me, "You seem like you have life sussed out." And I said, honestly, I've sussed out about 5%. The other 95%, I'm still either learning about, I'm still experiencing, or I'm just flat out blagging. So it's like, you know, don't make that misconception, please. I haven't got it sussed. None of us have. None of us will. We're just in this together. We're doing the best that we can. So at the end of the day, listen, just be thankful for what you do, who you are, what you're about, and know that what you're doing is enough. Especially these parents at this time, know what you're doing is enough, because what you're doing is extraordinary, and your kids will look back at this being the best time that they've ever had, because they spent time with you. And that's the most priceless thing. Time is our most precious commodity. Never ever get it back. Never ever get it back.
Mate, that was awesome. So much love there, dude. Thank you. Getting this again. This is from Anna. So thanks, man. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you giving.
Like I say, anyone's free to follow me on Facebook, Jamie Denyer. On Instagram, I am the Grief Preacher, just all one word. Yeah, listen, spread the love, send the love. And this is something that I will always stand by, is like a promise that I can make. A promise that I can make to people is that I will be there for them if they need me. Because so many people throughout their lives, they would have had promises broken to them by the people that they love, adore, and cherish, and they feel so strongly about, and it has devastated them. It's absolutely broken their heart. So I don't want people to say they're going to do something and then not do it. So then they're breaking promises to themselves, because too many other people will break their promises to you. So don't break promises to yourself. But a promise that I can make to you is that I'll be there for you if you need, because whenever I do a talk, the amount of stuff that I do via social media, like messages and that, for what the youngsters, for what the adults kind of send me, and they divulge to me, and what they bestow upon me, and you know, they kind of trust me with, yeah, it's overwhelming, but I will always be there for you. Yeah, my mission continues. We're going through the trenches, but like I say, that's where battles are won. That's where wars are won, but ultimately where heroes are made. So I'm carrying on. There's a mission to accomplish.
Bro, I appreciate that, man. That's so awesome. I won't steal any more of your time. I know we had a slow start. We actually started 6 minutes late, so this is perfect timing, dude.
There we go. We're in. And I appreciate you. Now, this glamorous assistant will hand over to...
the glamorous assistant will hand over
I'm getting physically blinded right now for this presentation.
Are you getting a nice suntan there, C? Are you getting a nice suntan there? Is that like a heat lamp that's going on?
You can't see my face, so I have to go here, and this is where the light is kind of blinding. So I'll just have to put up with it for an hour for Dale's sake.
Yes.
Right. Okie dokie.
See you later, mate.
Listen, I've nothing but love for you guys. And Dale, thank you ever so much. Be proud of yourself, my man, because this is an incredible thing in which you've done. Like proud, like super proud of you. But thank you. Take care. Take care. Blessings.
Take care, bro. See you later, dude. See you, mate. Oh, what an absolute legend.
Bless him, innit?
Yeah. Hey, Celestia.
How are you doing, darling?
Very wonderful. Very wonderful. We are live with this beautiful audience, and you are.
Who are some of the beautiful audience? So chuck some names out there, so I know who's.
We've got Anna. We've got Emma. Well, not Emma. It's actually Ebony. and we've got Megan, obviously, and
Yeah.
Karen as well. Yeah, you know Megan.
Yeah.
Megan, great. Megan's helped me a little bit today, so she's great.
Oh, nice. Lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, guys that are watching this just now, I'm not going to introduce Celestia because she's going to do it herself. She's worked so hard for this. She's the last one of the day, and I am so proud of this. I know that I'm going to be so proud of this one because I'm going to learn things today about Celestia that I don't know about her. So I'm going to be fully involved and be fully present. She's created a whole presentation. I mean, look, she's bearing a big blinding light in her eyes for us. So, Emily's on. Here's Emily, just here. And it's gonna be a real story, Celestia, isn't it? There's gonna be real truths in here. It might be a bit hard hitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, and if there's anything that pops up, feel free to ask us. Ask your parents as well if what things are, and if parents want to reach out to me or Celestia, then please feel free. But I'm really excited. I want to get cracking. So without further ado, Celestia.
Oh, what's going on? Hello, my lovely summit. So, today I'm going to be telling you my personal story, and I'm going to be visibly showing you the journey on this incredible PowerPoint behind me. And I think it's really good to actually show pictures of where you've come from and where you're going to, because as a speaker, when you speak, you're always telling your story. It's part of being an inspirational speaker. But if you can visually show the story as well, it creates more of an impact within the person who's listening's mind. And then after I've told my personal story, we're going to speak upon the subject of self-love. Self-love. Okay, so my presentation is Life is Your Art, because I believe we are the artists of our life. So this is me in the studio doing a beautiful flower photo shoot, which is a bit different. Look like I'm in a garden. Basically, we planted the seed, and now the seed has grown into this creative, unique, funky individual. Okay, so it all started when I was born as a little baby here. This is my mum, Hazel Barbie, my dad, Tim, my sister, Lizzie, and my brother, James. So we are the Barbie family, and that is spelled B-A-R-B-Y. And we've been brought up on this beautiful farmhouse in the countryside. I was just a normal, average girl, going to school, able to kind of listen and be on time and be confident all the way up to age 14. Now, at age 14, my mum and my dad, they split up. So obviously here you can see they're really happy, but as the years went on, their relationship deteriorated and they decided to split up, and it really affected my mental health. So, being that young person, I thought, let's be rebellious, let's kind of try and not only was I taking sides to my mum, I was kind of pushing my dad away as well. And I always think to myself, am I to blame for my mum and dad splitting up because I was a bit rebellious, because I maybe did things that he didn't like and he tried to kind of shout at me, and I basically tried to tell him, no, leave me alone, you're wrong, you're wrong. But in a way, my dad, looking back now, was actually trying to discipline me, and I wasn't allowing him to do that. And I do believe maybe I was part of the reason that they split up, but also when I was pregnant in my mum's stomach, my dad walked in the sitting room and said to my mum, I don't fancy you looking like that. And as soon as my dad said to my mum, I don't fancy you looking like that, it absolutely shattered my mum. And since then, she really got a bit of a hump in the relationship. So at school, year 9, I had my hair cut short. And I thought having a haircut short was a cool thing to do. I thought you were supposed to do that and it looked good. But during that time, the girls who I was hanging around with decided they didn't want to be my friends anymore. So I sat in the toilet on my own for a week at school, and on the Friday, I decided to take myself out of the toilet and try and make some friends. So these are the friends that I've made, and they they weren't bad people in a such of like, they were fun and they made me laugh, but they weren't the type of people that were kind of wanting to succeed and do things the right way. So it started off just simply having a cigarette. I had a cigarette at a bus stop, and that cigarette then lent onto smoking weed, and then smoking weed lent onto drinking bottles of vodka in the park. So at sort of 14, 15, leaving school, I was drinking, smoking, and doing drugs, and going out with somebody who was 3 or 4 years older than me. Now, you can see here, this was me in year 11 at school. So I've been beaten up because I got absolutely off my face, and I had a big fight in a park with this girl who thought that I slept with her boyfriend, but I actually didn't. It was a friend of mine that slept with a boyfriend, but she beat me up for it. Here I was on Class A drugs, lying in my ex-boyfriend's front corridor by the looks of it, absolutely off my face, not knowing who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing. And then over here, I'm in a nightclub at age 15, having a cigarette in the smoking area. So you can obviously see this was the person I was becoming. These were the habits that I was feeding into my soul. And this was the way my life was heading. So here we are now seeing an absolute smash car. So at age 21, I was still off the rails. And I was off the rails to an extent where I crashed my car drink driving. So I'm really, really lucky that I got out alive. And, you know what I mean, getting into that car was the biggest mistake. But it was also a mistake now that has probably taught me a lot of life lessons. So when I wrote the car off, I didn't only lose a lot of respect from my family and my friends, but I also lost a lot of respect for myself. And it really made me think about what I was doing with my life. So living in a farmhouse with no car in the middle of the countryside, you can't get around anywhere. You can't just get on a bus. It's like in the middle of nowhere. So my dad, who was living in Leicester at the time, he messaged me and he said, look, I know you're going through such a lot at the moment. I've got a bed sit in Leicester because my dad was a property developer. Do you want to move into this bed sit in Leicester? So I said, well, if that's a door out of me basically not doing anything in my life, let's try it out. Let's take the move. So I moved into this bed sit, and I was straight back into the wrong crowd, drinking, drugs, smoking, and stealing at this point. And having these bad habits in my system were really, really, really affecting my life. And it got to the level where I laid on my bed in this bed sit one morning. I came home on my own after a night out, and I'd taken that much drugs that I felt my heart felt like I was going to stop breathing, and I had to ring my mum to tell her to come and pick me up and take me to the hospital because I felt like something was going to stop inside of me. And I remember her picking me up and taking me, and she bought me a sandwich. She turned up with a sandwich, and I'm just thinking, does she know how bad her daughter is? Like, sometimes your parents don't realise, or that maybe they do, but they don't always. They try. I think my parents made me learn the hard way, to be honest, in some ways. Like, I should have been a lot more. I wish my mum was a little bit more strict, but I took advantage of that because she was more soft and kind and genuine. And I'm just so glad that this is the next thing that happened. Now, an angel came into my life. So this is Carl. And Carl is actually now my current boyfriend, who I've been with for 7 years. And
I like that.
I know, bless him. And what Carl did for me is he messaged me on Facebook completely out of the blue, and he said to me, do you have anywhere I could live in Leicester? Because I've got a new job and I'm looking for accommodation. So I said, well, yeah, my dad's a property developer. Like, I could speak to him. I'm sure there's a bed sit below me, you can move in. So literally a couple of weeks later, Carl moved in. I looked out the bedroom window, I looked down, and I seen him walking in, and I was instantly attracted to him. I thought, he's a really good looking lad. But at the same time, I thought, I'm not gonna get with him because I don't want to ruin like anything straight away. I'm just gonna be friends with him and enjoy him living downstairs. So what happened was, I'm still off the rails at this point. I'm still drinking, I'm still smoking, I'm still taking drugs, I'm still stealing. So week after week, I started hanging around with Carl. Now at the start, I would offer Carl drugs. I would try and make Carl steal. But that isn't who Carl was. So the tables started to turn. He started to say to me, well, why don't I buy you this? Or why don't we go out for dinner tonight? And just little tiny positive affirmations started to come in. And month by month, I started to change. And it was just simple things like walking to the park. This is actually one of the first photos I ever took. And what I did, I took the photo every season. So I took this photo I took one in like January, one in the spring, one in the winter and the autumn. I took it all round basically, the 4 seasons. And that was the first creative thing I'd ever done. And I put it in a little collage into a little collage. And it was really, I looked at it and I thought that's quite a special thing to do. It's really beautiful. So he started to change me, and obviously being off the rails, your brain is really, really seriously tangled and full of not much information. I had high energy, but I didn't have much information, and I didn't have much health or strength either. So my dad, this is my dad, Tim Barbie, and basically Carl started to walk me to my dad's house, which was only about a 5-minute walk around the corner. So he started going to my dad's house, started cooking food for him, for us as a little group. And my dad said to me, well, why don't we get you on a gym membership? So here's me at the gym. I'm wearing a wig, by the way, at the gym. Like, that is a full wig, not extension, a wig at the gym. So obviously at that time I was really like conscious of the way I looked, and I was all about the way I looked. It wasn't about who I was as a person. It was just about the way I looked. So started doing this gym membership, and what happened was the gym membership was good for me. It really started to bring positivity, because you go to the gym, you meet people, and people at the gym are there because they want to improve themselves. They are there because they are doing something that is good for them. And the gym is good for anybody at most ages. Any gym fitness is fantastic. Oh, we'll go back to that one, sorry. So that was the start of the self-improvement. And then at the same time, my dad said to me, well, why don't you go on a business course, get yourself sorted out a bit more? So I went on this business course, and I really enjoyed it, and it kind of gave me can I go back on that, Dale? Can I go back? Can you hear me, Dale? Oh, I don't think you can hear me. I'm tuning in and he didn't hear me. Okay, I'm going to go back because I've missed a part of the story and I don't want to miss it out. So when I did the gym membership, I was working in a bar. So, all right, Dale, I'm going back on this bit of the story. So when I was
a robot.
Huh?
You sound like a robot.
I sound like a robot.
Yeah, you.
What?
You sound so delayed. A little robot.
Can you hear me now?
I think it just needs time to buffer, I think. I'm not sure.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yeah. You're in slow motion like that.
You're slow motion for me as well.
How about if we...
What do you want to do? Huh? Do you want me to start it up again?
Let me... Do you want to click on the link and get on it again? So if we'll cut this one down and yeah, we'll close it down and we'll get on the link again. Okay.
All right.
2 seconds. Use the same link. Hey guys, so there we go. As you can see, it's a very raw and real story just there. So if there's any questions, please feel free to let me know. And if there's any parents that want to reach out to me personally, then that's absolutely fine with that one. Hopefully, it will work nice and smoothly right now. Yes, hello. Yeah, I got you.
It's working now, yeah?
It's better than it was before.
Okay, well just let me know put your thumb up if something goes wrong.
I'll do this.
Yeah, okay, wicked.
Wicked.
Okay, cool. So I was going to the gym. I built the relationship back up with my father, who I hadn't had for 7 years in my life. And then what happened was my dad said to me, well, why don't you go and get a little bar job, go and do something just to earn a bit of income. So I went and worked in the city centre in Leicester. And when I was working in the city centre in the bar job, the manager of Lloyds Bank came in. Now, he seen me and I spoke to him and he said, wow, I love your personality. Have you ever thought about working in a bank? Now, obviously at this point in my life, I've been a lost soul for 7 years, completely off the rails. And I was like, how can somebody be asking me to go and work at a bank? Like, it was completely out of my comfort zone. But I thought, you know what? I'm just going to put myself in it, go to the interview and see what happens. So I went to this interview and I passed the first stage. And it was a 3-stage process. So I went again, passed the second stage, passed the third stage, and I got the job and I was buzzing. My parents were like absolutely ecstatic and I felt like something had leveled up. I felt like I'd gone up a level in my life, considering how far I'd been down in the dumps. So I was in this job and just before I started, they sent me a form and the form said, do you have a criminal record? Now, obviously, I do have a criminal record because of the drinking and the stealing and the stuff that I used to do. But my dad, who I was sitting with at the time, I said to my dad, Dad, do I write yes or no on this form? And my dad said, Celestia, write no, it's all in the past, don't worry about it, you've got the job, congratulations, da-da-da-da-da. So here I am, first day at work, absolutely loving it, 3 weeks into the job role, turn up 9 a.m. in the morning. 2 men with samurai swords broke into the bank and robbed 80 grand out of the bank. It was absolutely scary and people were rushed, everyone stood back because they came in as soon as the door opened at 9 a.m. These guys came straight in, and obviously at that first entrance, a lot of doors were open, everywhere wasn't properly set up. It just wasn't. It was just an absolute mess up, basically. So the police looked into everybody's records and realised that I had been done for stealing. Obviously, I had absolutely nothing to do with this robbery, but you cannot work at a bank with a criminal record. So after 3 weeks, I got fired, and I got disciplinary first, and then I got fired. And all I remember is looking into the woman's eyes, and she was like, how dare you write no? And I'm just thinking, like, I can't, at that point in my life, I didn't have like, I couldn't like tell her the big story. It was just like, oh, I'm sorry, like I wrote, you know what I mean? And it was such a confusement for me, because all I wanted to do was try and do something for myself. So I walked out of the bank, and I remember looking up to the sky, and literally tears were just rolling down my face. I was so upset. I felt like my whole world had been shattered just because of this one job, okay? So the next step was going to college. So I decided to go on a business course, and I just wanted to kind of get myself up and going and trying to learn something. So I went on a bus and walked to college. It was all a bit of in the snow kind of thing, and it was a real drag, and I didn't really enjoy it too much. But when I was at college, I met this guy called Marvin. Now, Marvin was 2 years above me at the college, and he came up to me and he's like, yo, Celestia, like, you're a wicked girl and all that. He's like, well, would you like to be in a famous music video modeling and dancing? And I was like, well, I love modeling, but I've never danced. So what is this going to be? So here I am in the video with a bottle of Grey Goose in my hand. Obviously, I was at Daffy's music video, so it was all about sort of the VIP booth with the alcohol in the middle, all the girls jumping around and all that. But what happened was, being in this video, people messaged me on social media, and they said to me, I really love your hair and I really love your tattoos. And obviously at this point, I'd never felt value before. I never felt anybody say really anything overly nice to me before to compliment me, and it made me feel really, really good. So what happened then is I decided to try and kind of understand life a little bit, try and figure something out, because when someone compliments you or makes you feel good, you think, well, what can I do next that's going to help me stand out from the crowd and make me feel good, make me kind of, people say, well done or congratulations, because it really gives you a warm fire inside your soul. So the first thing that I picked up on was the fact that the trees are helping us breathe. And when I thought about the trees helping us breathe, I was like, that is so magical. That is such a beautiful thought, that the trees around us that we drive past and we walk past every day are actually helping us breathe. Like, that is outstanding to think that they do that. And it's true, they do that. So it gave me a little bit of a buzz. And I seen this man having a cigarette next to a tree, and I was like, that is so wrong. Like, the trees breathe, but the cigarette's stopping him breathing. It's like yin and yang, the opposite. So it made me chuckle. The second thing that I really noticed that I felt was absolutely insane, I kept like sitting in my mum's car, and we were driving down the motorway, and all the cars would go by, and it would, you know, when you just look out the window and you're like, oh, that was 10 cars, 20 cars. But you know, when there's like build up on the motorway and then you see like hundreds of thousands of cars all at the same time. Or when you fly into London in an aeroplane and you look over London. And I just thought, like, how many people are actually out here? Like, this is insane. Like, how many people are living on this planet? And then I Googled it and realized there's over 7 billion people on this planet. And I thought, if there's over 7 billion people, then why can't I be successful if there's over 7 billion people? So that was the second Yahoo moment. Now, the third Yahoo moment was the fact that we are skeletons. Now, I didn't know I was a skeleton until I was sort of 22, 23. And when I looked at it and thought, wow, I've got 206 bones in my body. And I'm moving around and I was literally like bones. And I thought, this is so magical. Like, this is just, I can't even put words to describe it. It's just absolute insane. It's just so beautiful and so unique of what we are in these bodies. It's very, 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 very special, and we shouldn't take it for granted. So the fourth Yahika, I like using that word now, Yahika! So the fourth Yahika moment was the planet. Now, what it is I've said before, my mum lives in a house in the countryside. So what I did is I would go to my mum's and I would sit on my own in the countryside and I would lie on the grass and I would look up to the universe. And what that did for me, it started to connect me to the fact we're on a planet. And it took me a long time to know that I was on a planet. So when I knew I was on a planet, I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, I live on a planet. Like, before I lived in a home, but now I live on a planet, which kind of takes life, like, it takes the mindset to another level. And then as the more awakening I got, I then realized that we're not just on a planet, but we're on a planet floating in the universe. Now, my name is Celestia, and Celestia means heavenly. And I feel like I have a task to do. And that task is to awaken people's souls to know that they're on a planet floating in the universe. Because you could be having a really bad day. You could be really annoyed that something's gone wrong. But if you always, always, always rewind your thoughts back to the fact that we're on a planet floating in the universe, I promise you that it will take away that thought and it will bring you back to reality of the true definition of what you're doing on this planet right now. So here I am, started off doing my modeling, had my awakening. Now here I am in this incredible outfit, looking like a VIP. I am doing gym running in somewhere on the planet, running in a gym kit. Here I am in a forest with my England pants on, trying to do something. So it all started off with modelling for me. And then after the modelling, I got into competitions. So I did the Miss Leicester, I did the British Bikini Championship, and I did Miss Midlands UK, and I also did Miss Gala Casino. So what this awakening had done for me, it had made me kind of realise that I am the product of life, and I need to use my mind, my body, my soul, my skeleton, my overall personality to inject it into this world. So by doing the modelling and the competitions, it started to give me a stance. It gives you a stance to stand out from the crowd. Now, the third thing I did is I went on TV, okay? So I did the first show I did, and today I would never go on this show, but I did go on it, and it was part of my journey, and it's made me who I am today. So I really wanted to be on TV. I kept applying and applying and applying, and I wasn't getting accepted. So the first show that contacted me was a dating show, and it was Naked Attraction. And I decided to go on the show because I realised that we're on a planet floating in the universe and we're born naked. And that was the reason I did it. And it was fun, and I don't regret it, but that was that. So the next show I did was Alan Titchmarsh game show, which was an antiques game show, which was really posh, really sophisticated. It definitely took me to another level. And it wasn't only me that went on the show. I invited my mum, who is 69 at the time, and she had never been on TV in her life, to come on this show with me. She really enjoyed herself. And then the third show I went on was Channel 5, and that was called 100% Hotter Than. So it was a bit of a laugh. And here we are again, me and my mum. My mum was on TV again, 3 months back to back. So literally 3 months side by side. She was back on TV. And it was who's hotter, you or your mum. So it was me at age sort of 25, and then my mum at age 70 at this point. Who was hotter? Obviously my mum's hotter. I'd never, ever, ever say that I was hotter than my mum. Like, why would you? Like, your mum's hotter. She made you. She put you here. So, did the modelling, done the competitions, done the TV shows. Where's my purpose? What am I doing? What's next? This is what was running through my head. So I just started doing solo things. So I was in the Sun newspaper. I did a Helen Flanagan lookalike. I hosted Leicester Fashion Show. I hosted for Anthony Joshua. I was part of his team. I was in the Sun newspaper for the second time, being hypnotised by the dog off Britain's Got Talent. And by the way, it doesn't work. I didn't get hypnotised. It was really embarrassing. They put me in the newspaper on a step ladder. Apparently, I'm scared of heights. So they hypnotised me to not be scared of heights. And then they put me on a step ladder in the back garden. But I'm not scared of a step ladder. I'm scared of, like, the Eiffel Tower. So they literally got me on a step ladder in the back garden in the paper. And this is it about, like, creativity. When you're doing stuff, like, it's not always for you. It's not everything goes right. Sometimes something gets published and it's not really the way it should be. But I look back on it now and I'm laughing about it. Do you know what I mean? So just have a laugh about it. Sometimes it's better just to shrug it off than hold weight and kind of hold it as it was a bad thing. Just have a laugh, shrug it off, move forward. I'm a better person now. So, done more model shoots. So after kind of doing a bit here and there, I decided I need to do a bit of traveling. I need to kind of me and Carl, my boyfriend as well, we both traveled together. He was my right arm man. He kind of helped carry my dress when I had like a long dress on. So here's me modeling in New York. Here's me modeling in LA. Here's modeling in Bali. Here's modeling in Thailand, Vegas, and Morocco, I think. I think that's Morocco. And then here's me in Kenya with the children. And with the children was the best part because I gave them that teddy bear, and until you go to a third world country, you don't realise how much a teddy bear means to these children. As you can see the smile on their face, they were sisters and they really loved this teddy bear, and it was just so beautiful because I also took a bag of lollipops. And then there was like 50 lollipops, and then they were all coming around me. Like, you could tell, like, if one of them didn't get a lollipop, I would have had to have gone and found more lollipops. At the moment, I have done anything to get more. So yeah, that was a really lovely moment. And one thing I did do as well, which definitely grew my confidence, is when I was at the Masai Mara, which is a camp in Kenya, which is all kind of Maasai people. They live in mud shacks, like mud houses, which is made out of purely mud, and they feed off the goats. So they drink milk from the goats, and it's quite they have very little, but they make so much out of having nothing. Like the amount of jewelry and bracelets and earrings they make out of like wood and stuff, it's absolutely mind-blowing how they create something out of nothing there. And they're really good salespeople as well. They're seriously good. Like if you go over there, they don't stop. They are hustling and hustling. But it can be quite overwhelming because if one person asks for something, that's okay. But when you've got sort of 10 or 20 of them asking and tapping on the window, I was in the taxi and they were trying to bang on the window for money. It gets a bit too much, and you have to kind of like turn your back on them in a way because you can only give so much to some people. And when they're kind of banging on the glass saying, give me more, it did get a little bit much, but you can only give so much as you can give sometimes. And that is one of the lessons I learned. But something I did do, which was really, really magical, and I'm actually going to be reading a poem in a little bit, but something I did do is I've written a poem in the tent that we were staying in, and I called it Lion. So when we went to the camp, I said to the top man at the Massa, I said, look, I would like to read this poem out to all of your group. And the guy was like, okay, cool. And then a couple of minutes later, they had this hat. And I was like, what's that hat? And they said, that is a lion. I was like, no. So basically, they had killed a lion in the wild like 10 years ago and used its fur and made it into a hat. And that was their signature piece. And I know it's not nice and it's pretty disgusting, but I couldn't believe that I'd written a poem called Lion, had absolutely no idea that was their signature respect for their tribe. And I was about to shout and do a poem and tell them all to kind of speak back to me. And I did it. And within the poem, I always do a repeat after me. And to have 40, 50 Maasai men going, I love myself. And I'm just standing there, this little English UK girl reading off my phone a poem to these people, and they're all going, ho, ho, ho. And I thought, you know what? If I can do this, yeah, I can do anything. And that was the moment I really realized that you can do anything in life. There is nothing to be scared of. And you have to put yourself in a lot of situations to grow you. But the more you put yourself in situations, the better you become. So in 2017, after having all this creative journey and feeling amazing, I still hadn't 100% found my purpose. And what happened was, my dad, who is here with me on the right, and my grandma, who is here on the left, unfortunately, they both passed away. And that's my mum's mum, and then obviously my dad, who I'd rebuilt the relationship with, who had actually helped me so much in my life. I lost them both for the year, and it was so difficult, because when somebody's ill, you think that they're just ill and they're going to be here for years and life's just going to go on and on and on. But when they actually die and you can't pick up the phone and call them, it really does affect your mental health. It really does pull you down and make you feel like, wow, my dad, he's not here anymore. But I wanted to make him proud, and I wanted to bring on the legacy of life as the Barbie family, and I wanted to kind of not deteriorate myself. I wanted to push harder and push faster. Some people, they lose their loved ones and then they just kind of curl up into a ball and lose themselves. I wasn't willing to do that. I thought, I'm still alive, I'm still a voice, and my dad is part of my DNA. My dad and my mum are within me. My mum and dad are part of my eyes, they're part of my heart, and they're part of my soul. And that is what I truly believe for all of us. We all have our mum and dads in us. So when I lost my mum and my dad, my dad or my mum, bloody hell, not yet, please. When I lost my dad and my grandma, just before I lost my dad, this was probably 3 months before I lost him, I said to my dad, if you could leave me anything in this world, could you leave me the old garage in Leicester? So this was the garage. So it was literally a load of cardboard boxes, a load of rubble, and I really wanted it. I wanted to try and do a business. So at the time, because I'd done all the modeling and I'd been to a lot of studios and I liked photography as well, so I'd done quite a lot in kind of the photography area as such. So I thought, well, why don't I build a studio and then maybe I could build a modeling agency. So after 8 months, here's me hoovering, cleaning. I've got the guy here doing the floor and everything kind of going in. So it was a big, long process. It didn't happen overnight. It was kind of like oh, now we need to do this and now we need to do that. And obviously, like, money-wise, I had to kind of like 40 quid here, £100 there. And it was very like, kind of, is this even going to happen for me? What am I doing this for? Because the garage, if you drove past, you wouldn't even know it was here. So I was just preying on humanity to believe in me. So here we are. I don't know, can you see that fully? So here is the VIP studio that I've created. This has been a consistent project for the last 3 years. And here we've got a beautiful makeup counter, which people come and feel like VIPs. VIP means a very inspirational person. Here we've got the meditation room, which is absolutely fantastic. It's all about self-love and encouragement and feeling amazing, connecting to the planet and the universe. And then we've got like the VIP booth, which I do a lot of life sort of sessions in there and making everybody feel like a VIP. That is what I do. Anyone that comes in my path, I will glam them up, I will make them feel amazing, and I will not let them leave until they smile and laugh, because that's what I'm about. I like having fun and I love making people feel good, because if you feel good in yourself, why would you waste that on yourself? Now that is a really good point that I've just made there. Don't let yourself become selfish, because there is so many millions and billions of people in this world, and I have created a playground for people to come and feel amazing in. And I just think that I'm so glad that I have found that part of me inside that is able to open up to the human race. Now, this was my launch night, so 70 people turned up, and it was just absolutely amazing. I paid for a man to come and do a homeless talk. So this man here, he was homeless, but he's not homeless anymore. So he came and spoke about his story of how he was homeless and how he now has kind of found himself, which was, it was quite nice. It was really beautiful, and all my family were here. And I remember I grabbed the mic, and at the time I was so nervous to speak on the microphone. I cried, obviously, but I was just like, hey guys, so thank you for all coming here tonight. And I was just shaking and crying, and it was sort of like, I didn't really know too much of what I was doing with the business at that point. It was just a bit more like, thank you for coming and thank you for respecting me that I've done a launch night. So the first thing I started to do was build a modeling agency. Now, when you're building a modeling agency, you think that I've seen it as kind of an opportunity to make sure people could kind of get work or get into like a creative environment. Because I've done so much creative things, I kind of felt like I knew the way a little bit, and I felt like I could promote other people to kind of give them opportunities. But what that did for me was I got 70 people on my books, and then I was sending like Sarah Jane to the job, but then Sarah Jane would be late, or Sarah Jane would drink, or Sarah Jane would bring her boyfriend. And just kind of after the time went by, I felt like I was sitting behind a computer screen and I was just giving everybody else a spotlight, but I was kind of losing my own spotlight. And for me, I am 50% about myself, but I'm 50% about others. And that's a really important thing to do, is to be 50% about you and 50% about the rest of the world, because a lot of people out there are literally mostly about themselves. They don't care about other people, they don't care about others, and that is something that I really resonate. So in 2018, in December, I did my first women empowerment session. Now, just before my dad went into the care home, my dad said to me, don't worry, you'll be okay in life. because you've got a good personality. Now, when my dad told me that, I had absolutely no idea what he meant really by it. I kind of went straight in one ear, out the other. But that was the gift. And I didn't know that my personality was my gift. I thought that my image was my gift. So here I am, 1 year into the business, now doing empowerment sessions for women, for children, for adults, for homeless people, for this was me in Glasgow. I got flown to Glasgow and I got booked into a 5-star hotel, and I did a weekend with this group of 10 children, and all I was doing was being myself and giving everybody else the opportunity to be their selves. It gets me emotional because do you know how many people don't get to be themselves? And if you can create something, look, these beautiful people, it's just so special. It means so much to me.
It made me cry last year.
It means so much though. So this was where the dream started to take place. This is where the purpose started to become a reality. This was the homeless projects that I did. So I decided to go to Derby, and it was a really cold winter's day. It was snowing, and I thought, oh my God, who's going to be at this homeless centre? I was going in to see if I could get anybody in to come for a free VIP session with me, okay? So I went in and I spoke to 40 homeless people, and all I said was, put your hand up in the air if you smoke fags. Put your hand up in the air if you do drugs. Put your hand up in the air if you steal. And what I did by doing this, I broke down in the room to the person who was the least off the rails. So if the ones that did, and I bought a big bag of sweets, so the ones that didn't do drugs and didn't drink, they got all the sweets. So they got treated, but the ones that did the drugs and the drink didn't get treated. So they were a bit like kicking off and being a bit funny, and I was like, no, these are the ones that you should be following. These are the leaders of the pack. Then what I did, I picked out a 17-year-old homeless girl, a 21 homeless boy whose mum had been homeless currently as well. His mum was in the homeless centre. He's called Marcus. And then also this other girl at the bottom here. I picked the 3 of them out, and then each week I would pick them up in my car on my own, and I brought them to the studio. And I organised makeup artists, I organised a beauty girl, I organised hairdressers. I went into the local shops in the community and I asked for clothes to borrow them for the photo shoots. And you can see he's in a Moschino. He's in a bloody Moschino t-shirt. Here. Yeah. This is my dress. These are my £400 pair of shoes. The beauty of what I do as well is that I don't hog my own clothes. I actually give other people my clothes for them to look good in. So this is the outcome, and you can see these pictures here. Like he's had his beard shaved, he's had his hair cut. I took her into like a really posh hairdressers. She's had fringe treatment, had her hair washed, everything. And the thing is, the real sadness is that Marcus, number one, he's always been in my life ever since, and he's really thanked me ever since that day, because I did help him come out of that gutter. I did give him some hope. I gave him a place of happiness, which he didn't ever have that. And I gave him a role model, and that's what I did. But this young girl here really upset me, because she held my hand in the car on the way home. And I said to her, Abby, like, I don't even want to take you home. She lived in a crack house. Her boyfriend was a drug dealer. She didn't have any good to go to. So I literally was putting her in a situation that made her look so magical, but then I was putting her back in a situation that was so deteriorating her soul. So when I dropped her off, I just gave her loads of clothes. I gave her loads of like little special like boots kind of things. And I just said this one thing to her. I said to her, if I haven't changed your life, I've changed your 24 hours. And that is what I did. I changed her 24 hours. And sometimes you can't change people's lives, but you can change their day. And that's what a simple smile can do. So the first thing I did when I knew my personal story was become an author. So I've written a book called How to Find Your Real Soul and Become a Boss. I did this last year. I'm blonde now. I actually like being blonde, but I go from blonde to brown to brown to blonde all the time. So this was a book, and the magical thing about doing all these photo shoots, I realized I can actually put my photo shoots on my book. I can actually use them for something and make money. And before, the photos were just being churned through social media. But a lot of money and time and effort goes into these photo shoots. Like, a lot of people, I sometimes don't really realize the amount of strength that you have to do. So I did this book and I got it printed, and it took me about 4 or 5 months to do it, because at this time I'd never done a book before. But what I did to write the book is I just wrote 10 subtitles, so 10 chapters basically. So if you write 10 chapters of how you want your book to go, you can then write off the chapters. So if it just says find the confidence within, you then write 4 or 5 pages based on that subject. And that's how you can create a book. And it's actually really, really cool. Anyone can do it. And it gives you a little bit more of a stance. And until you actually write a book, you won't realize the power behind it. So after I'd written the book, I really wanted to do my own events, big events. So the first event I did was in the studio at Boss, and I did the Face of Boss. So I headhunted 10 people, boys and girls, here they all are here. And all I did is I walked around the city centre. Can you see them here? I walked around the city centre, and I would go into New Look, or I'd go into a phone shop, or I would go into Nando's, wherever it would be. I would be looking for talent. And I would walk up to that person completely off the cuff, and I'd be like, "Are you right?" They'll be like, "Yeah, are you?" I'd be like, "Do you fancy being in a model show? You know what I mean?" I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. I was just winging it, literally winging it. I was like, "Do you fancy being the face of Boss?" They're like, "What's Boss?" And I'm like, "Well, come along to the audition and you'll find out." So anyway, did this really cute boutique little mini event. And I got Miss Leicester, who was the current Miss Leicester at the time, and one of her friends to be on the judge panel with me. And we had an audience of 20 people. And all it was we did 3 rounds. We did bikini, we did dress wear, like long dresses, ball gown dresses, and then we did a sports round. So 3 rounds. And then their mum and dads came. So it was literally mum and dad, brother and sister out of each family. And it was just really cute. And Letitia, which is here, she's age 16 and she won the competition. And the beautiful thing about Letitia is that I met her right outside the studio on the morning of the event. I had one person drop out and she was walking by with her headphones in. And I said to her, I just tapped her on the shoulder. I was walking out to my car and I just tapped her on the shoulder and went, "Excuse me." She took her headphones out, looked at me a bit like confused. I said, "Would you like to be in a competition this afternoon?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I don't know. Let me go and think about it." I said, "Look, I'll send you an email with some information. Have a look at it. Let me know in the next 2 hours if you want to come." She won the competition and she wore her prom dress in the competition, and I thought that was such a beautiful thing to do. The second show I did was a Matrix. So I wanted to do a fashion catwalk show but I also wanted to give inspirational and motivational speakers the opportunity to speak out and stand out from the crowd. So I sold 300 tickets and I headhunted 12 designer brands out of Birmingham and in Leicester. And I also headhunted 40 models and put everybody in a bucket. Now, it was definitely fun. My mum also modelled in the show, which is hilarious. And it was really, really good fun. And it definitely gave me my first kind of door in to being in the events industry. But as you can see here, I don't know if you can see that, I've actually got all my words on papers. So at that point in my career, I still wasn't able to speak fluently. I was still having to speak from paper. I wasn't able just to rawly speak out loud. And I was still a little bit lower confidence. But I did it and I smashed it and it was really, really fun. And then the final one I did, and this was last year, I did this event called the Role Model Awards. Now this really set the tone for me. This is what I'm about. I'm about not only being a role model, but also teaming up with other role models to make a difference. So what I did is I headhunted again 12 designer brands, but these were high street brands. These were brands that were actually really, really nice quality clothes. And I also headhunted another 40 models, and I also headhunted 25 role models. Dale was one of them. That's how me and Dale had met. I headhunted 25 role models in the UK to come and be on stage and tell their stories, to inspire the crowd, inspire the audience, and just highlight people who are actually putting some effort into this world and making a difference to the community. Now that was the Role Model Awards that I realised the role model part of it is my business. That's what I'm about. So just finally going to touch on my personal story, and then we're going to move on to a little bit about self-love. So as it stands now, I own the Role Model Academy. So the Role Model Academy is a platform that is life coaching. So I help children, women, and men evolve within the way they think, act, and look. So I take people through a process that really gets their mind, their body, and their soul at top VIP level. And because of my personality and because of my creative mindset, I'm able to help people stand out from a crowd. I'm able to boost their social medias and get their stories out there and get their stories actually somebody listening to them. So I have been really busy over the last couple of months, and I have currently now got 3 workshops. One of the workshops, I am training social media. So I do a 1-day course on social media. The second workshop, I am training life coaches to become life coaches. That's a 2-day course. And then the third workshop, I am helping people find their real soul. That's a 3-day workshop. So I'm doing 3 Pacific workshops. And then I'm also doing one-to-one clientele. Now this can be a day session or a 6-month journey that I go on with a one person on their own. And it's so amazing. I have had a phone call yesterday from a girl telling me that she likes my social media and the way I am that much that her friend is in prison and he is out in September and she wants to buy him my course as soon as he comes out of prison. He's been in prison for 4.5 years and he's going to fall straight into Boss Studios VIP, baby! So I'm just buzzing to get him in here and to hype him up. And he wants to be a barber. So I've just got to kind of build his inner confidence, build his stance, build his charisma, get him thinking outside the box, get him really pumped up and eager to make a difference. Because when you have it in your blood system that you want to make a difference, do you know how many people are looking for positivity in this world? All you've got to do is be a light of positivity. You've got to be somebody who wants to make a positive change. And that is the bottom line of becoming successful. So one of my favorite quotes, we're going back. One of my favorite quotes, hold on. Imagination is a preview of the future. Imagination is a preview of the future. I imagine that these workshops that I've created in my bedroom is going to make hundreds of thousands of pounds. Even sitting there, jiggling my brain around, being kind of like, oh my God, is this going to be right? Oh God. And then being able to push through them barriers and keep creating and saying, no, I'm going to finish this book. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It all builds up, you see, it all adds up. So having that vision, and in the end, I'm going to be able to touch more lives, because people say money isn't everything, but without money, how am I going to travel the world and inspire more people? What am I going to do? Go on a push bike? Like, you need to pay for your travel, you need to pay for your food, you need to pay for your health and your well-being. So the better you become, the better you are, basically. And I know when I die, yes, my money will go to my children, my family, but also a huge chunk of it will go to charities, and that is indefinite. So I think you've always got to come from a really positive place with money, and you've always got to be able to respect it. And yeah, I love clothes, and sometimes you do spend money on some things that you probably shouldn't. E.g., like if you've got a black pair of heels, you don't need another black pair of heels, but you just go and buy another black pair anyway. I think that's probably a girl thing. I don't know. Maybe you guys do buy like all sorts of different colour heels. So yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read a poem. Can I just check in that, Dale, you are still there? Fantastic. I didn't want to keep going on, and then in all fairness, I wasn't sure if anyone was watching at this point.
You're cool, no. I'm still here. I'm still here.
You're all there.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got my academy at 5:15 though.
Yeah. What time is it now?
5:10.
Okay, I'll read the poem and I'll wrap it up.
Ah, beautiful. I want to hear this poem.
Okay.
I'll mute me, but I'll still stay here.
Okay, wicked. Okay, cool. So this poem I've written for you guys, so listen carefully. This poem is called Embrace Life Today. Life is now, tomorrow is not guaranteed, so take each day with the purpose to succeed. Embrace your eyes, embrace your smile, and don't let anyone pull you down once in a while. Each day is a gift that you should cherish from within. So trust your soul, look up to the sky, and remember each step you take, you are always flying high. High above the stars, this is where your mind should lie. Use the universe as a vision for your success and paint your soul's personality to the world to complete the quest. All you have to do is open up your soul, express yourself no matter how hard you fall. Being young is great. Don't rush to be any older. Just have faith. Have faith in who you are. Have faith that you can travel far as a mountain, as far as a bird. Now let's please all come together and create a voice with a few words. Now please repeat after me. I love my life because I'm confident. I love my life because I'm cool.
I love my life because I'm cool.
I love my life because I believe in myself.
I love my life because I believe in myself.
I love my life because I'm alive.
I love my life because I'm alive.
Woo!
Woo!
Yes, my child. Yes, my friend. Yes, my warrior. we shall all make it together till the end.
That's so cool. What are you doing, man? I love the way that it's all interpersonal as well. You can share it with me, and I can get involved.
Yeah, man.
I love that.
Obviously, I would have a little bit extra to do. Dale's cutting me off.
I'm really sorry, guys. I am. We're supposed to finish at 5 because I've got I've always got a Saturday class at 5 o'clock academy thing. So I thought, I'll push it back by 15 minutes. It'll be fine. But then, I probably should have pushed it back a little bit further back. But anyway, that would.
Can I just say one last thing?
Yeah.
Just go to the end of the slide here. If you guys follow me on Instagram or Facebook, so my Facebook is Celestia Barbie, and then my Instagram is CELESTIA_boss_VIP, and then it's boss_studios_VIP. She's got it there. If you want to make the screen bigger, Dale, they can see it then. Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh, I need to put it in the right. There you go. There you go. Your sound disappears when I do that.
Oh, does it? That's weird. if they inbox me on there, I'll follow them straight back.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to do. Where can people find you? Here.
I just want to say lastly is if any of you girls or boys want to ever drop into one of my workshops, I do have opportunity for groups and kind of confidence building sessions and lots of fun, creative things. So if you ever fancy it, you're more than welcome to join in and come.
Well, I think it's so brave and courageous of you to share your whole journey and your whole story, because to be honest, you were so real, you were so raw. Kids appreciate the fact that you just don't sugarcoat it. You just tell it how it is, and you're not there to upset anybody. You're there saying, look, this is my life. I lived it this way. I made some mistakes. Now I'm making up for it. Well, I'm doing the best I can right now, and I'm loving it, and I'm proud of myself. And to get from there to now where I am takes a lot of hard work and a lot of self-belief. And I was part of the Role Model Awards, and I was so blessed. And it was fantastic. It was lit. Everything was beautiful. It just looked really professional, and you had the dancers on there as well. It's just like, oh, what else is she going to do? Oh, that. What else is she going to do? Oh, that. Oh my God, look at the little cake stand. Oh, look at the food. Oh, look at the food. And then you had Mr. England there as well, which was really inspirational. And it was a privilege to be part of that. And I just know that this thing is like a forever thing, you and I, because I think it's so cool that we can bounce off each other. And I just wanted to show you off to the kids, to see what you've had, where you come from, what you did to yourself, sabotage him, but what you've learned and your self-belief as to where you are now. And it's absolutely beautiful inside and out, and it's so precious.
Yeah, definitely. And I have told my personal story before, but I've never told my personal story with a vision board with this. You are the first group that will be seeing these slides. So I just want to say that has been forward, and I am going to be taking this story into schools. And I'm also, I've just written my second book, which is going to be published in a couple of weeks' time. And that book is called 365 Role Model Quotes. So it's 365 top role model quotes written by myself for the year. And yeah, like I say, if you guys or girls want to write a book, you could do a quotes book like me, or you could even do a poems book. Poems are a great form of self-expression, and poems are also really good to kind of write it and read it out on social media. If you don't feel comfortable just speaking camera to face, you can read a poem, and you can still impact hundreds of thousands of lives by doing that.
Amazing. Absolutely beautiful. My lovely lady, thank you so much.
All right, love you, darling.
I appreciate you. All these people over there appreciate you as well. It's been I'm full of energy. I've had so many amazing people speak, and I'm so glad that you managed it, that you were here to close Saturday and finish it off with.
Do you like the trousers, Dale?
I do like your trousers. Look at them.
Baby.
They're very cool. I do love them.
I ordered these trousers just for this as well.
Yes. Amazing. Woo.
Yeah,
Sweet.
and when you are doing like a speech or a presentation, it is nice to put like to curl your hair, or do you know what I mean? Put something on that makes you feel good. It kind of gives you a little bit extra more confidence, I find. It gives you that extra edge. Yeah, that's it for me, Emma Lovely. Like I say, it's been a pleasure being here. I think you've done an absolutely incredible job to put this all together. 100% backing you on anything you do in the future. And I just think you're an overall and over-rounded, beautiful human.
Woohoo! Yes. And reflecting straight back. And I appreciate and receive that comment. Thank you very much. But in the meantime, you go and enjoy your Saturday evening. I'll catch you later.
Love you. And bye, everyone watching.
Bye. See ya.
So I know everyone who was here. Love you.
Yeah, 100% do that, everybody. See you in a bit.
Love you. Bye, mate.
Bye. That was so cool. That was so awesome. How real was that from A to B? It was quite privileged, I guess, you know, having lived in that big house, and then all of a sudden it went to a dip. And then she found a way out of that and rose up. She realized that she was sabotaging herself, and she moved away from that. So that takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage and a lot of vulnerability to admit all of those things and share all those things as well. So that's really, really cool. I just want to say thank you so much for every single guest that came on today. I want to thank every single person that watched it. People today, it takes, you know, it's 8 hours of your Saturday. So, and I know you're not doing it for you. Well, you are. I know you're doing it for you. You're doing it for you, but for parents as well. You're doing it for you, and you're doing it for your child too. And I think that's so precious. I want to thank my girlfriend Laura for giving me coffees. She was feeding me coffees and feeding me up with food, if you were wondering. And I want to thank this little guy just here, Mr. Oswald, for being a really, really good boy. He was being really quiet. He's been a really, really good boy. He's been really quiet, and he's having a good old sleep. Tomorrow we are kicking off the sessions with Sean Key, and then after that, straight away, we have got Aaron, and then we've got Dale. So we're going to go to Australia, then we're going to go to Bali, and then we're going to go to Australia again, and then we're going to land back in the UK. I'm so excited to get these people on. I'm really, really buzzing. But anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Special thank you to Megan as well for helping out with all this and commenting and helping out with the flow, making things go easy. Wow. Oh, well, here she is. Do you want to say, can I thank you in person? I want to, here she is, a special thank you. A special thank you to Laura just here, who was giving me some coffee, feeding me with coffee.
I'm very sweaty.
You're a bit sweaty. This Laura's doing a bit of workout in the garden today. I have done not a lot of working out today because we're doing this. So I need to get moving. But thank you very much.
De nada.
De nada means you're welcome in Spanish, by the way. Or, yeah, it's Spanish, isn't it? Or prego in Italian. Prego. Anyway, guys, be awesome, be happy. Be optimistic. Know that these times are here to strengthen us, not deter us. I'm going to catch you tomorrow. Dale signing out. Peace.